And he's waiting around for Jon Jones for a whole year, over a year. Career on hold. Despite the fact that he told everyone, look, this guy ain't going to fight me. He's going to retire before he'll fight me. So you might as well just give me the title now. But unfortunately, the UFC, they wanted to believe that their GOAT was the man that they bigged him up to be. And they were wrong. And after working his whole life to become UFC heavyweight champion, this was the way it was announced.
Jon Jones called us last night and retired. Jon Jones is officially retired. Tom Aspinall is the heavyweight champion of the UFC.
All right, Dana, calm down. Don't get too excited. And that was in the middle of the night in some random-ass UFC press conference. No ceremony, no celebration, no congratulations, Tom. We've got the best young fighter in the world. It was as if no one gave a fuck from the UFC. It was so bad. And I get Dana was pissed because he'd been made to look a fool by Jon Jones, but that was never Tom Aspinall's fault. Tom just wanted to fight the best guy he possibly could. And you'd think MMA fans would love that. There's a fighter who's trying to fight the best, wants to win the title, wants to defend the title and be an active heavyweight champion, something we've not had in God knows how long in the UFC. But no, because Jon Jones weirdly has a lot of fans who want to see him protected and not get his chin smashed to bits, they supported the guy who ran away from the fight and trashed Tom consistently. What a weird fan base.
Allowing himself to be missed very much, because the moment he left, he came right back. And by the way, I have no problem with all of this. We never had a problem with any of this. It was the fact that he was holding up the division, holding up the belt. Everyone said, please stick around. Stick around as long as you want. Just give up the title so other people can realize their dreams. Fun fights, one-off fights, legacy fights, super fights, all day. You're bigger than the title. Jon Jones is bigger than the UFC heavyweight title. He's bigger than any title. There's only a couple of guys who are bigger than the title. Jon being one. If Tom would have beaten Jon, the fact that he beat Jon would be bigger than him becoming UFC heavyweight champion.
Situation looked like Curtis Blaydes came to beat Tom Aspinall up that night. Tom throws a kick and magically gets hurt. I would expect a fighter to at least attempt to stand back up or at least limp. And with Tom, he was just completely out of the fight. And his last situation was Cyril Gane. He gets poked in the eye. Normally you see fighters that are doing this number, trying to get the doctor to look at it. And actually, initially the doctor's just like, he seems fine. Tom's like, no, I can't
see.
The guy wasn't trying to see.
Yeah.
The guy didn't want to see. The eye that he was covering appeared to be the eye that actually didn't get penetrated. One eye finger goes all the way underneath the eyelid. The other eye, it was on top of the eyelid. And he ends up grabbing the eye where the finger was on top of the eyelid. I don't even think Tom really knew which eye was supposed to be more compromised. He just knew that he had been fouled and it was his way out. So that alone shows me a little bit what's behind the facade of this whole Tom Aspinall.
In that moment, Jon Jones no longer looked like a champion speaking his mind. He looked like someone ridiculing a man who had just fought to protect his own career. And when Tom Aspinall realized that people were still calling him weak even after learning the medical truth, something inside him finally gave way. The restraint vanished. The polite image shattered. Tom didn't respond with jokes. He didn't fire off petty insults. He spoke with raw anger, with brutal honesty, with the voice of someone who had carried frustration in silence for far too long. That he said he was done with strangers questioning his heart. Done with people who have never been locked in a cage telling him what he should have fought through while partially blind. Done with fighters who weren't even in the building acting like they would have pushed through nerve damage and vision loss. And done with Jon Jones posturing as a ruler of the division while carefully avoiding the one man who might actually dethrone him. For the first time in his career, Tom Aspinall didn't soften a single word. He pointed out that Jon Jones had an entire year to accept a fight and went completely silent. That Jones only runs his mouth when he knows no fight is coming. That he's fearless behind a phone screen, but disappears when contracts are involved. That he chose the safest possible moment to talk, when Tom was injured and couldn't respond inside the cage. The hypocrisy was impossible to ignore. A man calling someone else weak after sidestepping the biggest heavyweight challenge of the modern era. A fighter mocking injury when his own career has been repeatedly halted by his body breaking down. A champion preaching toughness after one cautious 2-minute fight in a division packed with real threats. But Tom was finished staying silent. When he spoke, he didn't sound broken. He sounded dangerous. He sounded like someone who had reached the edge and decided to push forward instead of retreat. He said he was tired of carrying the division while being disrespected by people who hadn't earned the right to speak his name. tired of smiling through weeks of slander built by voices that weren't even present when his vision failed. He said he was done being treated like a stepping stone when, in reality, he had been the man keeping the heavyweight division alive. And then came the line that shifted everything. He said that when he returns, he won't be the same fighter. The calm energy is gone. The patience is gone. The nice guy image is finished. What's coming back is someone with no need for approval and no fear of anyone standing in front of him. Respect is no longer the goal. Consequences are, and the first name on his list was Jon Jones. For years, Tom's silence had been mistaken for weakness. His professionalism was misread as fear. His calm as a lack of fire. That illusion shattered the moment he finally unleashed everything he had bottled up for nearly 2 years. When that new energy hit the timeline, the balance shifted immediately. Jon Jones went from laughing to staying very, very quiet. Because Tom didn't just respond. He exposed the entire contradiction. He reminded the world that while he was stepping in on short notice, saving fight cards, staying active, and defending the division, Jon Jones was vanishing into negotiations that led nowhere. While Tom was fighting contenders, Jones was talking about legacy without testing it against the present generation. And then Tom said the line that detonated across the MMA world: "If Jon really thought I quit, he would have taken the fight." That single sentence rewrote the entire narrative. If Jones truly believed Tom was weak, the fight would have happened immediately. If he thought Tom was an easy night's work, there would have been no delay. If he truly believed Tom lacked heart, he wouldn't have waited until Tom was injured to speak up. The truth became undeniable. Jon didn't attack when Tom was healthy. He attacked when he was wounded. And when medical scans surfaced showing nerve disruption, vision damage, and the genuine risk of long-term complications, public opinion flipped fast. Fighters, trainers, analysts all began calling out the absurdity of mocking a man for refusing to fight while he physically couldn't see. But Tom didn't stop with Jon. He turned directly toward the power structure itself. He spoke about Dana White dismissing the injury publicly. About how his absence was framed as a choice rather than a medical necessity. About how, after years of loyalty, short notice fights, backup roles, headline saves, he felt discarded the moment something went wrong. He reminded fans that he carried the heavyweight division while others were absent. And the moment he suffered a real injury, he was treated like an inconvenience. For the first time ever, Tom said out loud what fighters have only whispered for years: that Jon Jones receives unwavering protection, regardless of delays, withdrawals, or chaos. But when Tom was hurt, the support vanished instantly. That's when everything changed. Tom Aspinall stopped being just a polite contender. He became the voice of the heavyweight division. The man saying what others were too careful to say. The fighter finally challenging the imbalance of power that everyone pretends not to see. And Jon Jones' silence. The same silence that followed every contract delay. The same silence after every call-out. The same silence whenever real pressure appears. Because Jon Jones knows something has changed. Tom Aspinall is not the quiet challenger anymore. And when his vision stabilizes, when the specialists clear him, when he finally walks back into the octagon, he won't be returning as the nice guy. He'll be returning as the problem.